Our standard understanding of reality is built on a simple model, a vast, empty vacuum where solid objects float and pull on one another through gravity. We map these movements using clean, three-dimensional math and whole numbers. But using rigid, linear math to measure the curved, organic fabric of reality is like trying to measure a sphere with a flat metal ruler. The tool is incompatible with the surface. When we force these two together, the logic breaks. We get the cracked egg paradox. This geometric mismatch has measurable consequences. Our calculations are off by a fraction of a degree, leading us to invent placeholders like dark matter or struggle with the fine-tuning of cosmic constants. These anomalies only exist because our math doesn't align with the actual grain of the universe. As long as we treat space as an empty room and math as a flat plane, the true architecture of reality remains invisible to us. Decoding this architecture requires a different framework, expressed in one equation: frequency times geometry equals total pressure. First, we have to reframe the vacuum. Space isn't an empty room. It functions as a hyper-pressurized, dense fluid. In this model, the universe is like a glass of liquid. Everything we experience, from atoms to galaxies, is the result of a cosmic symphony vibrating within that medium. To understand how this symphony works, we have to look at the two ingredients separately: the hidden geometry of the space itself and the acoustic frequencies that move through it. Foundational numerical sequences like Fibonacci and the golden ratio act as the physical grain of space-time itself. They aren't arbitrary. They are the structural tracks that energy must follow to scale from the microscopic to the cosmic. Modern physics identifies 18 distinct variables. Because they are fractal and organic, they don't stack cleanly. Instead, they compress and fuse into a dense 9.6-dimensional block. This compression leaves a specific 0.4 gap, a thermodynamic exhaust bleeding Hawking radiation to keep the system from imploding. This dimensional exhaust is balanced by a specific geometry called the vector equilibrium, a 13-point system of spheres that acts as a mathematical lens, perfectly distributing the fluidic pressure of space. This 9.6-dimensional structure provides the blueprint, but a blueprint needs an engine to activate it. That engine is frequency, specifically the quantum harmonic sounds that vibrate through the liquid vacuum. This energy travels as a standing wave called the quantum spine. It is a fundamental vibration propagating linearly through the dense dimensions of the vacuum. Chaotic frequencies create turbulence and unpredictable noise in the system. However, when the frequency is perfectly tuned to the harmonic ratios of the geometry, energy moves through the medium with zero resistance. If the 9.6-dimensional geometry is the track, then the resonant frequency is the frictionless train that rides it. When the quantum spine vibrates through the 9.6D geometry, the result is the P total of our equation, total pressure. This is the core of superfluid vacuum theory. It suggests that the universe is a hyperdense, frictionless liquid medium. This source details a model where dark matter functions as a universal ocean. In this framework, atoms and strings are not physical objects. They are cavitation trails, hollow bubbles, left behind by quantum frequencies spinning through the heavy liquid vacuum like propellers. This shifts the definition of gravity. It is not an outward pulling force originating from mass. Instead, gravity is the inward push of the cosmic fluid, trying to fill the hollow bubbles we perceive as matter. In this symphony, what we consider solid matter is actually the void, and what we call empty space is the heavy structural fluid doing the work. This equation requires an existential shift. It implies we aren't isolated specks floating through a dead, empty void. Since the spinning frequencies create stable vortices in the fluid, we are essentially interconnected whirlpools, pockets of low pressure formed in the same continuous ocean. This fluid geometry scales uniformly. The same dynamics that form a vibrating quantum string also govern the rotation of a galactic cluster. By understanding the variables of this hidden equation, we find that the universe is a living, pressurized ocean, breathing in mathematical rhythm.